I pray to the gods of vanity. The idols of beauty are fickle and petty and dull. Worldly beings floundering amongst themselves like clownfish competing for the reddest snow. But vanity, how holy is that? To create something in your likeness and call it good. Call it light. Is that not something worthy of pride? Is that not God herself? Hi, it's me, you. And welcome back to the Dainty Funk. Today I will be recreating the look that you saw in the previous scene, inspired by Narcissus, the flower, and the Greek legend. For those of you who are not indoctrinated into the Percy Jackson to Song of Achilles queer pipeline industrial complex, firstly, how does it feel to live my dream? Narcissus, in Greek mythology, stared at his own reflection and fell in love, thus tormented by the prospect of never actually being able to hug himself the way he would a lover. He ended his own life. This is not a makeup tutorial, mostly because I do not have enough faith in the recreation of my skills on other people's faces, and also because I don't feel like acting like it is a tutorial and walking through each step of the process, but all the products that I use will be in the description below. I've begun to consider myself a vain person. I like the way I look. What can I say? I've spent a lot of time sculpting myself into something that's fun for me to look at. Most of my life, I have been preoccupied with pretty things, pretty words, pretty pictures, pretty faces. It has, more times than I would care to admit, got me out of bed in the morning. The stares, the visions of open, gaping mouths at all of my glory, it's intoxicating. It's part of the reason why I created Dainty Funk in the first place. I wanted there to be a place where I could be vain, where I could be prideful of the things that I create, the visions that I have for myself. It is a place where I can be unabashedly prideful about the world that I've created. According to Google, vanity is an excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. Keyword, excessive. And to that I say, who the fuck gets to decide when my pride is excessive? Who is anyone to tell me when my pride, my joy, my bathing in the light of my own achievements is too much? In my very short social media career, very short, I found that users are very happy to tell people, especially non-men and people of color, to humble themselves, to be small and quiet and polite. When I say that I am beautiful, that I am deserving of respect, that my art is powerful and important, it is a surefire way to get a bunch of comments telling me that that is not true, or that it would be true if I was more humble about it. There is absolutely nothing that puts more of a rotten taste in my mouth than the paradox of humility. There was a time in my life when I, too, kneeled to the idols of humility. I, like many first-generation African children turned queer abomination before me, took solace in the sweet, poisonous embrace of hyper-religious purity culture. I went to a Catholic middle school, an affliction I think we all deserve ample financial compensation for, and I distinctly remember a day in health class. We had a speaker come in and talk about the best way to ensure sexual health and prevent teen pregnancy: abstinence. This balding man with a false sense of importance gave us the quintessential gift wrap analogy. You know the one. If you pass around a gift and it is unwrapped without discernment, one day, when there's someone you really want to give it to, it will be ugly and broken and not worth giving. Except the metaphor is that my body is the gift, and that my body is something that can be ugly and broken and not worth giving. As if to add insult to injury, he passed around a cup of water and asked us all to spit in it. When he had gotten to me, he lifted the cup in the air and asked one of the boys to drink it. He refused. As you can imagine, the experience was terrifying for all of the impressionable 13-year-old girls in the room, me included, and our only defense from becoming that cup of spit was to be pure and pious and humble. From then on, I was always giving up something. I knew it, too. In my head, the only way to be worth anything was to never have what I really wanted, what I lusted after. To be seen. But to want to be seen as pious and pure and humble is a declaration that, in and of itself, lacks humility. Thus, the paradox. How do you share the best with the world while sublimating your ego? How can you stand out and sit back? If you ask me, there is nothing wrong with being good and knowing it, being good and saying it. Narcissus knew that he was beautiful. Many fell in love with him, but he never returned their feelings, and because of this, he was punished. Led to a pool where his reflection looked back up at him. For the first time, he was in love. But once he realized it was just his own reflection, he fell into despair and killed himself. That is the end of most stories like this one. Self-love is often punishable by death. But I will never die. I've always had more of an affinity to the villains of a story. The unapologetic bravado, the long-winded monologue, the cinched waist and cane. The heroes are predictable and righteous and so fucking boring, insistent on saving a world just as unforgiving as they are. Why shouldn't I tear the earth asunder? What worth is there for living if I cannot make an entrance, make the masses gasp in horror at my beauty, fall in love with myself? Heroes are cowards. They hide their faces, take off their costumes when they go home, brush their blonde hair and kiss their blonde wife and pet their blonde dog. They settle for only a slice of the extraordinary. With villains, the costumes that they put on are the truth. When we choose a new name, it is the one we've always wanted. But I want it all. The villains I have loved have always put it all out on the table. The bad and ugly first. And I am ravenous. I want it all. Down to the bone marrow, I want it all. Every last drop. I want it all. Editing mod here to give the outro because other mod forgot to do it. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video so I know you liked it. Subscribe to join the Dainty Funk Nation. I am selling posters on my website of this Narcissus look. So if you're interested in hanging me on your wall and watching your favorite TV show with me or something, consider buying it. And I have a Patreon where you can more directly support my work and also have a say in the type of content that I make. Yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping things. This video took a long time to make, so I hope you take the time to watch it. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye! Material girl.